What's going on, everybody? I'm Jake the Lawn Kid. Welcome back to yet another video. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. You guys know I am known for my extensive effort with video editing and my excessive coffee drinking, but today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're actually going to keep it raw. We're going to keep it real for a second. I want to show you guys a little in-depth tour of my little DIY irrigation system and how I keep the grounds watered here at JTLK headquarters. That's what we're going to be doing today. Without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, so let's start off with the main stage, right? This is really the only area that I irrigate. Everything else I either water by hand or I let it go, kind of like this parkway here, right? So the main stage is actually watered by stationary sprinklers that pop up out of the ground and they hook right up to the hose spigot. Check this out right here. They're made by a company called Quick Snap. Now, for those who've been watching me for a while, you guys know I did a video on these back in the spring talking about how I'm going to use these to up my DIY irrigation game. If you want to see that video, I'll leave it here and down below as well. You guys who also saw the original JTLK irrigation system video is that I actually used above ground orbit sprinklers to place in the corners and water the lawn, and that worked just fine. But what I like about these is it kind of condenses the footprint down a little bit, because what I actually had to do back when I had the orbit sprinklers, it was great, but I actually had to take them out every time, and I'd also have to put them back in place, and I'd have to position them, calibrate them, all that stuff. It was just a pain, and it was extra tedious, right? Whereas with these, you bury them, you put them in the ground, they're stationed, calibrated, ready to go, and all you have to do when you have to mow is just take the hose off, right? Take the hose off, clamp it back on when you're ready to water, take it off, roll it up when you're ready to mow, and then come back and water the next morning, just clamp it in. It's as simple as that. So get these little clamps that come with the sprinkler heads, and all you do is just stick it on there. Hence the reason they call these quick snaps. So I have 4 of these positioned all throughout the property. I have one in every corner here. So I got one here, one there, one in the back right here, and I also have a 4th one right there. In addition to these sprinklers, another sprinkler that I really like is this little guy right here. Now, hence the reason I actually like these little quick snap connectors. One of the things I like about these, again, is the ability to quickly put them on and take them back off, right? All it is a quick snap, and then literally that's why they call it that. And then if you want to take this adapter off, you just screw it off the hose, and then boom, you have an open hose that you could use for something else, like the pop-up sprinkler that I'm going to show you guys right now in a second. So it's as simple as that. If you want to rest them here, you can. Leave them up by the spigot, whatever you want. Quick snap. Works just like that. Going back to what I said earlier, if I wanted to take those adapters off, which is very easy to do, and just plant them on the sprinkler for next time, I now have an open hose that I can use for another sprinkler, which is this guy right here. Check this out. Look. See this little thing? This is actually not sponsored. This was not sent to me. I actually bought this. I snagged this particular sprinkler from Home Depot or Menard. I believe it's made by Melnor. It's a spike style pop-up sprinkler. All it does is just turn on and sprays, right? It's good for spot watering. If you want more information on this one, I'll leave it down in the description below. I like the ease of use of my main setup, because if I ever want to depart from that and maybe put this sprinkler on to water my parkways, which I'm doing over here now, I'm in the midst of a little project, it works perfectly for that. Not only does it reduce my footprint, but it just makes things go by much faster, especially when I'm flipping the sprinklers. Speaking of which, got to move this one because I have another little area that I got to water here, and that's this little spot. Just plant that right in the ground there. Crank that on for a good 5-10 minutes. Yeah, there we go. And you'll also notice from looking at this area here that this little section is actually cut lower than everything else here in my front yard, and it's actually part of a project that I'm going to be revealing here on the channel very soon, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, part of that is watering it every day with this little spike style sprinkler here, doing a little 10-minute syringe here to cool things down and also keep it wet. because that's another thing we'll be talking about later. And this actually brings me to the heart of the setup here of my little DIY rig sprinkler system that I've had now for quite some time, and that is the timer. This is an Orbit 4-port hose timer. You can get these in Home Depot. If you want more information, again, I'll leave a link down in the description below. You can set the clock, the start time, how long, how often. You can even turn it off if you want to without having to turn the spigot off. It's pretty cool. And another thing I like about it is if you wanted to manually turn on the sprinklers without disrupting your cycle, because it is digital, you can literally, you know, fiddle with all that here, turn it on manually like I did to syringe that area, and you can also set it to stay on for a certain amount of minutes and it'll automatically turn off as if you were timing, which perfect for the syringing over there, because I can't always be here to turn it off when I'm busy running around cutting lawns and all that. So it's nice to have a timer that not only shuts it off for me but also turns everything on for me in the morning. So very cool little setup there. I have all the sprinklers set. I set them all to come on just to show you the locations in which I have them. So as I said, I got one in every corner. So I have one right here and does a 90-degree, covers all of this, including that little area along the driveway. So it's shoots far enough. And then one thing I like to do with these is they come with their own little screws. I don't have it with me at the moment, but I'll show a picture of it. You have a little screw, right, where you can adjust the mist and the distance and the span and all that stuff. I like to just screw this little mist screw down just a tad so that I'm interfering the stream to improve the consistency, but not too much to the point where I'm losing the distance, because that will happen if you screw it down too much. So doing that ensures a good, consistent, even application, and so far doing good. Now, it may seem like it's not covering well when I have a brown spot right there, but don't be fooled by that. That's just because I didn't run these sprinklers properly when I went out of town to Utah for a week. So this area suffered big time, you know, because of all the stressors around it. But, you know, we're bringing it back slowly but surely. And then we got this sprinkler over here. Another one of those quick snap heads. You can see quick snap. If you want more information on these, links will be down in the description below. Very cool company. It's a great way to condense your footprint if you are doing my DIY irrigation system. You're looking to condense the footprint. Really great sprinklers for that. Got one here that does a 90, covers all of this. And I also have a bonus head in the middle, about right there, that does a 360 and covers all this. Don't really use that one all that much, but on the days where I maybe want to syringe the entire front yard, if it's stressing out too much, I do like to kick that one on, so I'll probably show you guys that one too. And then we got this one. This one, same deal, 90-degree, covers all of this, looking good. Shoots all the way to that back corner over there, gets a little bit on the plants. Same deal with all these, got them all screwed down a little bit, adjusted the span to where I would want it. Hits all that over there, as well as everything right here. Can you even see, look at that. Oh, I could use some of that right now. Oh, it feels good. Nice and cool. And this one should come on any second now. Yep, and then I got this little guy over here, you know, that hits this corner. And this one also. Oh, I love that sound. This one also shoots into this corner, keeps all this back area irrigated, even goes into the flower beds a little bit, which I am very, very okay with. So all good there. I figured this would be a great opportunity to show you guys why I really like these sprinklers. So as you guys know and see from my setup, I have multiple hoses all connected to one timer. Each zone gets one sprinkler, vice versa. And maybe you're somebody who doesn't have that luxury. Maybe you only have one hose, two hoses, whatever, and you're only able to run like two heads a day. Let me show you what's super cool about this quick snap feature. So you could simply just disconnect at any point in time, whether it's on or off, from one head. Maybe you're not happy with that one head, and then you could come over to, let's say, this head right here, my bonus head. Make sure it's not pointed at me when I do this, and just connect it. And there you go. Boom. Switch from one head to another in an instant. Pretty cool, right? Hits everything over here. Goes all the way around a 360-degree circle. It just hits everything. So I don't use this head all the time, but it's a good bonus to have for the days where I feel I need to quickly syringe everything and I don't want to turn all the sprinklers on. So cool. You get the gist of it, right? Make sure you have head-to-head coverage so everything is getting watered evenly. Otherwise, you're going to have areas like over there, that little brown spot I showed you earlier, that are just going to stress out that much quicker. So having good head-to-head coverage everywhere is going to guarantee you the best results when you put together a system like this. So now I want to go ahead and go over with you guys how I go about setting the timer for my sprinkler system. This isn't really much of a tutorial step-by-step how I set this one. At this point, I actually did do a 2-minute lawn tip for those of you guys who are interested on this particular timer, as it is very popular. I'll show you guys how to set it and, you know, the times I set and all that stuff. I show you guys actually step-by-step how it works, how to set it. But what I want to do is I want to step away from that and I want to show you guys how I actually go about setting the timer, you know, for the sprinklers to come on. When you go through these Orbit sprinkler timers, you have quite a few dials here, right? Auto, this is where you want to have it all the time when you officially have it set. But when you get it out of the box, you want to just go ahead and go in the order of which the dial goes. So you turn it to set clock, right? Make sure it's set to the right time. As you can see right now, it is high noon. So, and then once you get done with that, you can go to start time. For me, I have it set to 3 a.m. I like to set it for the morning. Never want to water at night because that'll promote fungus, so always set it for early morning as the sun's coming up, so that once I get all that water in there, it gets down deep, and then anything left over will, you know, dry out so I don't have water sitting too long and potentially get fungus. And then once you figure that out, you want to set how long you want each head to run. Now for this, it's not very hard to determine. You just want to make sure that with every head you set up that you're getting about a ½ inch of water. So what I do is I would take a maybe a plastic cup or a tuna can, anything that's about 1 inch deep, and fill it up at least halfway. That'll make sure that it's a ½ inch of water going down within every watering, which brings me to the next point. You want to make sure that every time you water, you get down a ½ inch of water. And the way you do that is you take a plastic cup, put it in the middle of the sprinkler streams for each sprinkler. You want to test every sprinkler now so it's getting done correctly. And when you do that, guaranteed you'll get enough water and you're good to go. Now, as far as how often, I like to water 4 days a week. I like to water Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So the idea behind my thinking here is that when I do water my lawn, I like to water more time and less days. You never want to water daily, especially in the summer. Now with seeding, on the contradict, you do want to water every day, but that's another video for another time, right? So we're just talking about basic watering here. So how often? I like to water 3 to 4 days out of the week. Ideally, I like to do 4 because the lawn will just look a little bit better. And I also like to spread it out a little bit so things will dry out. So Sunday and Monday, it gets watered back to back. And then Tuesday is an off day, so it gets a day to dry out and breathe a little bit. So I'm not, you know, keeping the lawn too wet to the point where it'll be all, you know, flushed out and all that. So I'll give it a day to cool down. Back on Wednesday, so full blast Wednesday. It'll get a ½ inch of water, maybe even 3/4 inch, depending on how crazy I get it. And then Thursday is another off day. That's the schedule I recommend. That's enough days to water. You also have those 3 days in between for things to just take a break and dry out. You want to let the lawn dry out in between. And then once I have all that set up, I just flip it over to auto and I leave it there. Good to go. Now for the days where I syringe, right, I can also do it manually. I could kick it on for a good 5 to 10 minutes in the areas that need cooling, right? Like maybe I could even do station 1, station 2, station 3, station 4. I can even set them all to come on in order at the same time. But let's just say I want to crank on station 1 for 10 minutes to syringe and cool down that stressed area. I can do that, no problem. So not only do I want to water, but I also want to syringe any areas that might be stressing. So that is the method behind my madness when I water my lawn. All right, everybody, so there we go. There's a complete in-depth walkthrough of my DIY irrigation system. where I have all the heads, the timers I use, the sprinklers I use, how I go about watering bare spots, the whole behind the scenes look, as well as the proper cultural irrigation practices I like to implement to make sure my lawn is being watered deep and not daily like I always talk about. And secondly, also making sure that I'm cooling down any extra stressed areas when needed. So that's all I have for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about it. And if you have any additional questions or comments, please leave those down below and I will get back to those as soon as I can. With that, I'm Jake the Lawn Kid. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. If I don't see you guys next time, your lawn is going to be dominated. See you later.